Hi guys, welcome to another episode of our podcast, Forces of Fandom. I'm your host, Ashley.
And I'm your host, Savi.
Hello there, I'm your host, Mariah.
We're just three simple women making our way through the multiverse. Happy Saturday or Monday.
Happy Saturday, Wednesday, Monday.
Right, whenever you watch this, whatever. Happy day. Yeah.
It is late.
It is.
For me. We are doing this. That's why I'm in my bed, because we are recording this so late.
What is it? It's after 1 for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like 1:20. So after we get done recording this, I'm going to bed. Hey, I got Grogu right here.
He's so cute. Well, how are you besides it being 1 o'clock in the morning?
I am excited. I am excited to talk about this episode because we finally get some more Marvel.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited. So I'm ready. I feel like it's only been like, 3 weeks since we've had Marvel stuff? Or no, it's been longer than that. It's been about a month.
Yeah.
A month.
Month, maybe a little more.
It's a dry spell.
Right?
Like, I just want more, like, Marvel, like, can't wait. And this character, of course, Loki.
I know. All week, ever since we watched the episode, I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait till Saturday. We have to talk about this. So, I'm excited. How are you, Savi?
I'm actually doing good. I took a mental health week, and I'm feeling good.
Good.
Good. I had to take that, which, of course, I was MIA last week. But half of it was for mental health, half of it was because my little sister was graduating, and that was fun. So, good to see her. It's so weird because, like, me and my sister are, like, 10 years apart, and going back to high school graduation and seeing it. Well, I have to say my sister was first to graduate in her class. We left. She walked. There was 500 kids in her school. 500 kids graduating. And Gabby Carley, first one to graduate across the stage, and we were like, "Peace, bye."
Those things take forever, so I'm with you with leaving early.
Oh, my parents stayed the whole time, and they were there for 3 hours.
Yeah,
3
they're long.
hours.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Mm-mm.
Well,
no.
All right.
And it was in Florida too. So, it was outside. It was outside in Florida on a football field. There was no way I was going to stay. Okay. But yeah, high school graduations.
Yay.
Oh, and there was also, I hate to say it, I hate to call Florida out. Yes, I am in Florida, but there was no
safety.
No safety. Not a one. Out of all the 500 kids that were graduating, only one kid had a mask on, and he was like the oddball.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
it's Florida.
It's fine. It's Florida. There's no law here.
We could do a whole segment on there's no law in Florida.
I was going to say.
It's okay. We don't pay taxes.
Neither do we. Or like sales tax?
We pay sales tax.
Okay, we don't have that.
Yeah, but we don't pay state taxes. We just pay
okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet California wish you guys had that.
It makes me want to move. I swear.
Move to Florida.
But it kind of
well, that's where we're going to be. We could all end up together in like 5 years, guys.
That's true. That's true. You probably should come to Florida. The land of the free. We're not an actual estate. We're a republic, I'm pretty sure.
See, that's... But I'm kind of overpaying taxes over here. It's so not fair to small businesses. Like, let me tell you.
Yeah,
but
we can do a whole segment on California taxes. Look, as she sips her coffee. Let's all sip for California taxes. But we do have some news, a little news. So
Nerf herder news.
Scruffy looking nerf herder.
Okay. Sorry, I always have it on my phone because I think that I'm going to remember things and then I go to say them and I don't remember shit. So.
And we just go over everything that we tell you like 5 minutes prior.
Yeah, it's true. Children, we won't even go there. Okay. So let's see. Black Widow tickets went on sale. So I've seen lots of people pre-ordering those because you can either see that in theater or you can watch it on Disney Plus.
I do need to pre-order those tickets, but I don't know where I'm going to be. I don't know where I'm going to be at yet, so I probably won't do it until the day before.
God, it's been so long since I've seen a Marvel movie in a theater.
Same. And it's more worth it to go to the theater than paying the $30 at home.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I rather pay like I'm ready to pay $50 going to the movie theater. I miss it. I was fortunate. I guess you could say kind of fortunate, but our movie theaters here re-released the first Avengers in theaters to try to keep the movie theater going.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to watch 2012's version of Marvel Avengers in theaters with my partner, and that made the only Avengers movie that we didn't get to see together in movie theater. So now we've seen all the Avengers movies in theaters together because they re-released it due to COVID in theaters. And
nice.
So I did get lucky with that. But now we've seen all the Avenger movies together.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be a good one to see in theater too. Let's see. Jamil, is that how you say her name? Terrible with names. But she's playing the supervillain in She-Hulk.
Yeah. Titania.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm excited. I'm kind of excited to see what they do with this.
And that one will be animated. Yeah.
Is it?
I thought it was live action.
Yeah.
I thought it was animated.
I know Mark Ruffalo's on set and he's wearing the dots, so he's playing Hulk again.
Yeah, this is all animated.
Hold on, She-Hulk. Sorry, now I have to look it up, guys.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be, I always thought it was gonna be live action.
Huh. Main television series. Okay.
Fact check.
Right. I don't know why I always just thought it was going to be animated.
Oh, but also while she's looking that up, we did see some little pictures of Obi-Wan from the set, what we were just talking about in the group chat.
I want to talk about that because 1, I'm so excited. 2, I want to know who let this man's and the rest of that staff walk around like that, because they're supposed to be very careful, and most of them, except Owen, I never say his name right. Please don't come for me because I never say it correctly. He actually looked like he was trying to cover up. But
that stormtrooper was like, I'm a stormtrooper.
What was funny about it is because Ashley was like, I know Jedi boots when I see them. And I was like, obviously, like, he was, like, it was like a dead giveaway with him covering something. I was like, obviously, he is in Obi-Wan mode. But I'm like, why wouldn't they just, like, if I was, like, the director, the costumes stay right there in set. You come to the set naked if you have to. like those are a secret. Like,
right.
I saw, what is that show called? It's the one on The Masked Singer.
Mm-hmm.
So I love The Masked Singer.
I saw like some behind the scenes of how they make sure that it's not leaked, and I was like, why didn't they do that? They literally have whoever's the star dressed in all black. It says they give them a special sweater that says "Don't talk to me," and then they have to have the hood on, and they give them a visor that completely covers their face, and they walk around like no problem, but nobody knows who they are. And I was like, I don't understand how those pictures got taken.
Well, I'm assuming that this is on the set and they're going from the trailer into the set, and then someone has one of those really special cameras who are like hundreds of yards
paparazzi.
away. Yeah,
Yeah.
paparazzis that are sneaking in, and which I hate. I'm like, I get it. That's their job. That's what they need to do. But quit ruining it for people.
Let me tell you, I've gone to events where I've had to talk to paparazzi and deal with them, like waiting for I'll just say it, I love Billie Eilish, and I've waited outside venues for her because she actually talks to people outside. And paparazzi, I'm sorry, I know it's their job, but they really are scummy. They don't care. I've had conversations with them. They don't care.
No, I can get on to everything about them. It's really awful. But any more news do we have?
First of all, speaking of following stars around, leave Harrison Ford alone. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This poor man, he gets surrounded every time, because he's filming right now, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And there's actually a picture of him doing his, Han Solo point, but he's, begging people to leave him alone. They're, following him around everywhere. I even see posts on Facebook, saying, oh, he's going to be here. I'm going to try and get his autograph. Yes. Leave the man alone. He's 78 years old. Just leave him alone.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
This is why he hates people, because I would hate people too if they were like that. I didn't know that was going on. I'm surprised that's not more talked about right now.
Yeah, I've been seeing it a lot. He just gets surrounded by it. And he's already said he's not going to sign autographs. He's not going to take pictures, and people still follow him everywhere trying to get him to do it. And especially since, we're still in a pandemic. You see him every time he's out with a mask on. He's 78. He's super vulnerable. Just leave him the hell alone. God.
He doesn't have security, does he?
Not in the pictures that I've seen.
Yeah, I think he had talked about that one time, that he doesn't walk with security. I don't think he's ever had to, but now it seems like he's gonna have to.
Yeah.
That makes me so mad. Quit being selfish. Just stop.
Yes.
They're human. I know he's a fan, you're a fan and everything, but just do what we all have to do, is pay money, send in an autograph. Ashley knows all about that.
I do. I am so excited for that. I'm going to mail it off Monday.
Can't wait.
I have to redo an unboxing. She-Hulk, by the way, it's part of Phase 4, 10 episodes in 2022, not animated. So,
live action.
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome.
Let's see. But something that is animated, Lord of the Rings, is coming out. Warner Brothers is releasing it. What is it? War of Rohirrim?
Yeah, it's good. Right. Get enough. We're fine. But we'll get another pronunciation whenever the movie starts.
Yes.
I'm excited. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna. Actually, I know it's gonna be good. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna have to get you guys into Lord of the Rings before it airs.
I like Lord of the Rings.
The one that hasn't watched anything.
I know. I'm gonna have to get you into it. Build-A-Bear just came out with they did a limited edition of Frodo and Gandalf Build-A-Bear, and it has this. Oh, and they also had oh my gosh, Gollum, little plush Gollum. It was actually pretty cute. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cute. Yeah, but I really wanted the Gandalf one because it came with five different phrases, and one of them's "You shall not pass," and I was I begged Eric. I was like, "Please, let's get it." He's like, "We don't have kids." I was like, "We can hold it back. It's fine."
Oh my god!
I want it for myself.
Later one. I have the Mando bear. I have Grogu.
Right.
So I have a bunch of Build-A-Bears. I don't care. They're adorable.
They are
adorable.
It
was so cute. I could care less. Okay, Lord of the Rings fans can come at me, which I think a lot of them can agree with me. I'm not a big Frodo fan, but Samwise is the. I can't wait for you to watch it, Savi, because you're gonna love it. You're gonna come back to me and be like, "I love Samwise." But yes, Lord of the Rings. I'm excited for that, and there's actually some news about The Walking Dead.
I know. I'm excited. Well, I am and I'm not. I already knew this, but the last season, they're releasing it in August, which is out of the norm because it's usually October, but it will go all the way until 2023. There's 24 episodes, I think. Yeah. And then once that ends, Daryl and Carol are getting their own spinoff. So,
Okay.
but I am
I
stoked.
kind of stopped. Yeah.
I think we stopped about the same time.
Once they killed Glenn, I just was like, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, at the season that they killed Glenn, I watched a few more episodes, and I think I finished out that season, and then I was just done.
Yeah, no, I still love it. I'm excited for the movies. So.
Oh, they're making movies too?
Yeah, because Rick is gone. Rick has been kidnapped, and they're doing a movie about it.
I thought he was dead.
They think he's dead. He's not dead.
Oh.
Right.
I missed a lot. Yeah, look at us. We're like, oh.
What else? Those are the main things. If you play Resident Evil, they're working on the 9th one, but that's not going to come out until like 2025. So be excited or don't.
Yeah, I think it's gonna. I know a lot of my friends that play it, and they're excited about it. I guess it's supposed to be like the best Resident Evil. Is this a rumor, or are they actually doing a movie?
Like another one? I thought I saw something.
I thought so too. We'll fact check that for next week.
And then oh, go ahead.
I just thought I saw that they were going to make another Resident Evil movie, so
I feel like I saw that too.
Pretty sure they are. I'm only agreeing with you because my partner really likes those films, and I remember him like talking to me about it, but I always get lost in that because I've never watched Resident Evil. So.
Been there.
And then I think the last thing that I had was Witcher. They released a teaser for season 2. I'm terrible.
Wait, Ashley, we're gonna have to get you into it. You're back ready to see the world's most gorgeous man just slay some. I don't know what to call them, fantasy creatures.
I feel like she'll be more obsessed with him than we are once she gets into it.
That's true.
What are you just trying to say that I like men who slaughter people? Is that what you're saying? Slaughter things.
Yeah, ego. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Henry Cavill is a gorgeous man.
He's a handsome man.
He was actually born to play Gerald Riviera. I think that's how you say his name. That's how I would say it. Gerald. Yeah. But it's a great show on Netflix. The first time you watch it, Ashley, like if anyone hasn't watched it yet, I highly suggest watching it on Netflix, but watching it twice.
Yeah.
Watch it through and then wait until maybe a couple weeks before we know when it's going to be released and go back to it. So let it sink in for a couple months. I just rewatched it a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And it just made more sense the second time watching it. So it's kind of like Lost. You watch it the first time, then you go back and you're like, oh, okay, I know what this is.
It's because of the time jumps, right? It's been a while since I watched it.
Spoilers!
I'm just giving you a fair warning.
No, that's like the biggest secret of the whole thing. A little warning. You can't give her any warning. We didn't have that. Just kidding. Oh, last thing I wanted to take a note of. When this airs, it's going to be the day after, but Chris Evans' birthday is June 13th, so it's tomorrow for us. It's today for us.
For you. It's today for you.
For me, it's today, but when this airs, it would have been the day after, so it's not too late to say happy birthday. He's turning 40, so we love that man. He's turning 40.
Don't even look like it.
Or will he be 41? I think he'll be 40.
Yeah, I don't know why I feel like I saw at some point that he's born in 81. Crazy. But I think that's it for the news. Unless you guys had anything else. That was a lot of news. We didn't have anything last week. I think that's
I feel like I did have stuff to add in, but now I can't remember it.
It's like every time after the week's over, after we get done recording, we're like, oh, wait, there was a lot of things in the news that we did not talk about. It's fine.
It's fine. All right. Well, Should we talk about the Bad Batch then? I didn't watch it until today.
What'd you think about it? Before we jump into like the little quick little breakdown of it, overall, what'd you think of the episode? Savi first. How would you?
So many emotions, okay? So many emotions, but I like loved it and I hated it, but I loved it more. I was really happy with the episode.
That's good. Okay. Ashley?
I think it was the same. I really liked it. It was good and it broke my heart, and then it was good. Knocked shit down again. God damn it.
See, for me, it didn't break my heart enough. We'll get more into it at the end about it, but for me, I enjoyed it. But there's one little factor I'll say I'll wait till the end to tell you. There's one little thing that I wish they would have done that would have made the episode a lot better for me. It would have probably been a great, amazing episode if they did not do this. But overall, I think we can say it was a pretty good episode, and it's finally picking up.
Yeah, next week will be the middle of the season.
Right. So this is episode 7 of The Bad Batch, and it is called Battle Scars. And this episode time was running 27 minutes, so finally it went up a couple minutes. It didn't go down. We're going up. Because I think last week, the week which I missed that episode 24. With you all.
Yep.
Yeah, it was only 20. That was
short.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
So
even
short.
remember what's that episode about? Which one was that?
The
Ralph, the sisters.
Yeah.
The sisters.
Yeah.
I already forgot. Oh my goodness. Why do I always forget their arc? Like, I completely forgot about their arc in season 7 of Clone Wars.
Your brain does that to you as like protection.
Yeah, you're what's that thing when you like force it down? Yeah.
Suppressing memories.
I feel okay. Look, before we jump into it, but I'm seeing a lot of people like actually defending the sisters with that episode, which I was kind of shocked. I kind of like the points people gave where they explained they're not as annoying. They actually have like a purpose in that episode, so you can't really hate on them. I'd like to say those are good points. I still hate them.
I was just when you said he.
I don't hate them. It's just that for me, I legitimately forget about them. Like, I don't hate them enough to I don't remember enough to hate them. I don't remember enough to love them. That's what it is for me. So I'm just like, I'm completely neutral. I'm like, oh.
I was gonna say you're neutral.
I'm very neutral. They don't bother me. I mean, I can see how they are like for that arc. We needed that Ahsoka arc just to see, because we missed her in the season before, so we needed that. But at the same time, like, and when I saw them bring them in, and they did have like some sort of a reason to be there, I was like, okay, I can see them being here. But in season 7, whenever we were just getting 4 episodes of them at one right after other, and they were super slow, it was hard. Now, when you go back and you rewatch it, or if you're binge watching it all at one time, then it's a fine arc. It's fine. But when you're just watching it one episode at a time, coming back 4 weeks, that's a hard watch, people. Let's make that clear. And the same thing I get on to people about the Game of Thrones, like people who binge watch all of Game of Thrones at one time, and then they get to season 7, they're like, season 8, and they're like, oh, well, I don't know why people are upset. That was a great season. Shut up. Like, you're watching it all at once, so you don't know it's okay. Like, the outcome is okay. Same thing we can say about the sisters. The outcome is okay. It's just the time that we took getting there. That's the problem. We felt cheated. It's how we got there that we felt cheated. And we're okay with the outcome. It's just how they got there. That's plain and simple. So, same thing we can apply here with a lot of Star Wars, and, like, for instance, the sisters arc. It's just how it was drawn out. But, okay, back to this episode. Episode 7. It starts off, like, quick. Like, a time jump, just a couple days or maybe a couple weeks have jumped, and they are coming back from a mission. and they coming back and running another, smuggling thing for Sid, stolen the lizard. And I did notice a classic Star Wars move, the hyperdrive. They're trying to fix the hyperdrive to try to jump back to get back to Old Man Tell's to get back to Sid, because they are stealing the lizard from the bad guys, so then makes them the bad guys, or makes them the good guys from stealing from the bad guys to give it to Sid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, but you would think in Star Wars, like these ships, like every ship we have watched, the hyperdrive goes out, or the hyperdrive isn't working.
I feel like they abuse it. That's why, because it's such an easy tool to use. I could see like people abusing it, and it's like, oh, well, it's not working again. I wonder why. We use it every time.
But it was but yes, so like they get the lizard from the bad guys, and they do this score, and Sid kind of cheats them out of money, and so she's like, because you guys owe me money, so you have to score something big to even out the stake. And then we see why they are they owed Sid money, because Wrecker and Omega like to have a little celebration for
It's so adorable.
That was so cute for Mantel Mix, which is like space popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
Mark my words, that will be there Monday at Batu.
It's already there. I swear.
Is it?
I think
It's
so.
already there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know if it's the same name. Is it?
I don't know if it's the same name. I know they've got the popcorn there.
They do have the popcorn. I know which one you guys are talking about, the spicy popcorn. This one is going to be what they were eating was like a colorful, like, it looked like almost looked kind of like kettle corn. It's different colors. So I'm telling you,
they have that there
Pretty sure they have that.
in Disneyland.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. I've seen the one that it's like a spicy popcorn mix.
No, the one at Disneyland's like different colors, right? Actually, like I've seen purple and like blue and like.
Yeah.
I know they have it.
Well, there you go. But it's Mantel Mix. That's what they were eating. But of course, when they're trying to, Sid tells them, you owe me money. We need to settle the, pay up, so that way we're squared. But there is a mystery figure inside, the bar and in the cloak, which we knew who it was.
Chris and I think, said it at the exact same time.
Like, obviously, they tried to do, like, some kind of, like, mystery. Like, he knew who it was. It was Captain Rex. Now, if you don't know who Captain Rex is, I hate to be that person, but you probably shouldn't be watching The Bad Batch. In my opinion. I don't know.
I had somebody new follow me on Padawan Pins and have a conversation with me that The Bad Batch is the first Star Wars thing they've ever watched. And I just was like, that's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain to me what made you watch that and not anything else?
Yeah.
And he just said basically the armor is what called his attention. They look like outlaws. They look very different from the typical stormtrooper that you see everywhere.
I want to know, like, please comment below if this is your first time watching it. Like, are you guys confused about it, or do you pretty much get what's going on? Because I feel like a lot of this stuff, like, you're not gonna understand if you.
Well, I mean, technically, like, you wouldn't need to know who Rex was. If you had never seen anything, you would just know it was some guy they had a past with.
Yeah,
That's
which
true.
I think is okay. I definitely feel like Mariah has a point, because they're missing out on a bunch of Easter eggs and a bunch of connections that they won't know.
Well, my thing is, though, because they just answer to Rex, and like Rex is like, obviously we're gonna know that they're gonna he wants to remove their inhibitor chip, because Rex is like, I don't have my inhibitor chip, I removed it. And then Rex, when he finds out they have not removed it, it becomes intense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like, you're ticking time bombs. You're not safe. Omega should not be near you. You're not safe around her. At that point, I'll be honest, I thought he was going to take Omega. I really did think that was going to happen. But But like, he's like, we have to go get it removed. And if you haven't watched it, you're like, why are they like, why would you do this? Why would you go? I don't know.
Well, if you
Like,
haven't
why
watched
would
it,
you
you're
trust
missing
him?
out. Anyways,
Yeah.
I love Rex, so I'm
At least
biased,
go
but
back and like just watch, like, you don't have to watch like the whole entire Clone Wars. You can just watch arcs and still build up that, and then go back and watch the Bad Batch arc, and then that season 7, and you'll kind of get a feel of what's going on. But yeah, but yes, obviously they go to Rex tells them, you need to go get the inhibitor chip out, and they go to the planet Braca. Is that how it's pronounced, Braca?
That's how we're saying it. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced.
But Easter egg, I watched it. Ashley, you haven't played it yet, but Jedi Fallen Order, that's the planet that Cal Kestis on. It's a junkyard.
I played that part. I played part of Jedi Order, so I remember that part. That's where they crash.
And that's where they go to the go into an old Jedi cruiser, and they use the med bay in there to use the equipment to remove their chips. Of course, on the way they get attacked by a Dianoga. Yeah, Dianoga. Which,
I was so stressed during that part. I was like, you know what?
Yeah, don't step in the water.
I was like, I swear to God, if this is how we lose Record, I'm gonna be so upset.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but yeah, that Dianoga, we see that in New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, back to your all's boy Wrecker. Before they can sedate Wrecker to get his chip out, he turns. And which I thought that scene was interesting, of course, because you hear the fade out, you see the turn, and you hear Rex and Hunter discussing like what they did, like if during Order 66. Obviously, we know they let Kanan. He talks about Kanan. They basically let Kanan get away, what Hunter did, and then I don't think Rex was discussing at that point, but he had discussed that he had help getting his chip removed. He had some help getting it. And you just hear that conversation, and then Wrecker flips with a switch and is like, all clones in violation of Order 66 shall be terminated. And he attacks everyone. So
can we talk about that? That transition scared me. Like, I knew it was coming. We all knew it was coming because they just kept teasing it with us so many times. But like that fade out and then that complete switch was scary to me, because Wrecker is such a, he's like a teddy bear to me. And again, I knew it was coming, but I just was kind of blown away a little by the way that they did it, because he even like chokes Tech. Like, I was not expecting it to be that violent.
Right.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, it's like you see a different side of him. And I got major First Avengers Hulk, like when they're on the ship, when Hulk turns onto the ship and, Black Widow, like they're trying to calm him down, and he's like the ticking time bomb, destroys the whole ship. It was that kind of scene for like that. I got that vibe. And then, of course, there was another callback, which it was interesting because you remember like when Wrecker first hits his head, and that scene on the plane, on the ship, when it's back where he crashed, and he puts Omega in, they're like, yo, we're gonna crash, or we're gonna die, and everything, and like gets into like the sea. That whole scene was a callback to Aliens. That I had the exact when Omega was hiding like from Wrecker. That was also Aliens. Like, I got major alien vibes from those two in particular scenes together. Like when he first hits his head to when he finally snaps, and I was like, oh, like that was I'm pretty sure that was the inspiration for that.
I'm just gonna say though, I actually cried during that whole chaos
Mhm.
because I did not like seeing Omega so scared of him. I mean, not so scared of him because she knew, like, it's not you, it's the inhibitor chip, and she even states it.
Oh, she was gonna shoot him. Well, she
But-
did try, but she missed.
But it just hurt me.
I
It hurt me
know.
so bad. I don't know why. I was like, what the hell? I know it's going to be fine, but I can't help it.
Ah,
I hated it. I hated all of it. I was so thankful that Rex stunned him because I was like, oh my God, what is he going to do?
right.
Yeah. Yeah, he came in like of course at the right moment. I don't know. Omega, I think she would have. Just first of all, she wouldn't have had to pull the trigger. That would have traumatized her.
Mm-hmm.
Or they would have had. But my only thing is, yes, like Savi, you did say Rex did stun him, and then they of course take him and remove his chip. The next scene where Omega like does not leave his side, that was adorable. Like she
Mhm.
refused to really leave his side. Of course, he wakes up, and then they remove everyone else's chip. My thing is that was very fast. I
Mhm.
really thought that was going to be like a 2-part arc. I have mixed feelings about it. I kind of wish it was because we knew it was going to happen, but it happened so fast. I really thought that it's going to be this major buildup and it's going to be this major story arc.
Mhm.
But of course, it happened. Or honestly, I thought he was going to die, but of course that didn't happen. It just seemed like it was all very easy
Mm-hmm.
for me. But that's my only complaint about it. And maybe they're going to go with another, because there's no story arc yet. We're 7 episodes in and you don't really get an arc.
I feel like the next episode is going to start it because of how the episode ends. I'd rather wait till you get to that point to explain that. But
yeah,
I kind of was surprised too that they get all their chips out so quickly. But I also kind of wasn't surprised because I was like, I think Rex is just here for this episode. They get the chips out of the way so we can start the real story. And here we are.
And we've already got Crosshair with the messed up chip, so it doesn't surprise me that they don't want to do that with all of them.
Speaking of Crosshair, they mention him still having, like, they pointed out, like, Crosshair still has his, which I was like, well, obviously, but they just had to make a point to say that, which at the end, of course, Rex and, talks to Hunter, say, hey, we can really use your squad, come join us, we're trying to push back on the Empire. And of course Hunter's like, no, I got bigger things to do, I gotta take care of Omega, but yet they still put her in harm's way by doing all this side hustle, but it's fine. It's like kind of like a contradictory, but I'm not a parent. Ashley, you maybe you know a little bit more about parenting than me, but Rex goes off and he is talking to someone, telling them, I'll meet you at the rendezvous point. A little speculation of who he's talking to. Some people think it's Ahsoka, maybe it's Belle, Organa, but I don't think we're gonna know. I think that they're gonna leave it there, and that's it.
We did skip over the fact, though, he brought up that the sisters are the one who told Rex about the Bad Batch. I don't think we mentioned that, but...
No, I didn't. Yeah.
But
we don't. Yeah, we just don't know who, like, he was talking to on the comm link and everything. But maybe it was the sisters too, still in touch with them. But I don't think we're gonna see Ahsoka. I think that's all we're gonna see.
I was gonna comment on that once Rex said, when they asked Rex, how were you able to get your chip out, and he just answers, I had help. I was like, he could have easily name dropped her. We're not gonna see her. That was kind of like I feel like Filoni saying, she's not coming in, chill. And I also thought the way Rex left was very, like, I don't know.
You know where to find. Well, I don't know. It kind of hinted maybe we'll see him at the end. Maybe we'll see him in like a season 2, because they haven't announced that this was a limited series. They have not said that, but they also haven't said we're going to get a season 2. But because he did leave off, if you need anything, you know where to find me or how to contact me. But at the very end, to get to the very last thing, whenever they go and part ways, the scavenger guild there on Baca sees them, sees the fugitives, and reports them to the Empire.
So that's why I think the story is going to starting next episode is because
we're going to get Crosshair again.
Yeah, I think Crosshair showing up in the next episode. They're going to start their official story, and we're going to see where they end up. I also kind of thought Rex might be talking to Saw Gerrera, only because of the speculation that in Rebels he mentions that he used to fight alongside Saw Gerrera, and we do know that Rex is in oh my goodness, I'm gonna screw this up. The Battle of Endor. He's there, and I just saw a lot of connections. People saying it might be Saw Gerrera that he fights alongside for a little bit before going into retirement with who is it? Wolf and who's the other one?
McGregor.
Yes.
Yeah, Wolf and McGregor. And hey, look, there's Wolf right here. Wolf, Rex. We got Cody and Jesse. I don't know who this one is. I don't know. Is this one?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to get attacked.
Yeah, I know.
There's
I don't know who
there?
this one is or this one. I think this is just a basic clone trooper.
It's one of those 5s.
Rex, Wolf. I don't know if one of them's 5 or not. It's 5s. Was he on the blue? No.
No, 5s was 5 first, but he has the hand design, somewhere on the helmet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not 5s. I don't know who this one is. And I'm not sure that one. I don't think this one. This was probably the Red Squad, the one that was at the.
It's the Coruscant guards, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know. It was one of the douchey ones. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention which we'll discuss this at the end of when we're going to do this. But timestamps. If you guys are watching, make sure you guys like and subscribe to our channel. And we are also going in the description. There is timestamps if you guys don't want to talk, listen to the Bad Batch. You guys didn't want any spoilers, and you just want to watch, listen to our Loki portion. Make sure you guys look at the timestamp, and we'll jump ahead. So, all right, but sorry, back to it. forgot to mention to tell people to like and subscribe. So please, because we are trying to do a giveaway.
We're almost there.
We're 93.
Oh, close. So,
there.
All right. But overall, what would you rate this episode? Before we jump into Loki, what would you rate it? Savi, go.
I'm thinking, I feel like my favorite episode so far has been the very first one. Not even because of length, just because of the plot. So that one to me is a 10-10. This episode felt like a 8.5 out of 10. It was still up there, but I'm still waiting for the story to start.
I would agree with that.
I would say, I totally agree. But my thing is, it would have been a solid maybe 9 or 10 if I didn't know we were getting Rex. If we didn't get, this is what I was talking about in the beginning before we started. If we didn't know, see Rex in the trailer, and then they would have just introduced Rex as a secret, then I would have been like, oh, that was great. But now that I kept waiting and waiting for him to show up and saying, okay, when are we going to do it? When are we going to do it? And it was a great interest. I like that he's not in there for very long. It just would have been so much more exciting, or a much better feeling if I would have been treated to that and just not had that build up and then people being like, oh, we're going to get Ahsoka, we're going to get this, and it just would have been a lot better.
I have a theory about that.
Yes.
That they showed us Rex because was it with you, Ashley, only, or did we discuss this together where we talked about how the trailer, everything, we're seeing everything so far from the trailer, and the last part in the trailer was technically Rex. So now that Rex is done, that's kind of why I'm assuming that's technically where the story takes off, and we're gonna see stuff that we are not expecting at all.
Oh yeah, completely changing at this point. I totally agree. Someone's gotta die. Sorry.
I do want to say really quickly before we switch,
Yep.
I thought it was adorable and it like hurt me at the same time. But when Wrecker was telling Omega, he's like, I'm sorry. I tried to stop, like I couldn't fight it. And then she had the little space popcorn for him. That part. Oh
Agree.
my gosh.
That was sweet. My only theory, okay, about why obviously someone's gonna die. First of all, it's because the way that Hunter looks, because he's a sore thumb. He like people are gonna recognize his face. They're gonna have a target on him because he has like a tattoo right there. Like they're gonna know who he is. But two, because of Wrecker, whenever he does turn, he says that saying, "All clones in violation of Order 66 shall be terminated." And I think that's just a little nod that someone's gonna die.
I just want to comment that, yeah, I agree with you. Is it wrong that I think that most of the Bad Batch is gonna die?
No, because it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel like Omega isn't. Like, she's gonna have her own journey, but I don't think the rest of the Bad Batch makes it. And I'm not ready for it.
Do you think she goes off? And I hate being a theory.
We don't do just discussing.
Yeah, we don't do theories, but I mean, if something does happen, of course, you know, we know that they say, now they could be lying to us, that at the end of the series that it was heartbreaking for everyone to watch and they all cried at the end. Do you think we have like a Baby Yoda and
Like someone comes to get Omega.
Yeah, someone comes against Omega and they have to say goodbye type of situation?
Wouldn't that be crazy if Rex showed up back at the end and she goes with Rex?
Mm-hmm.
I would like it if somebody did come and pick her up, but I have this feeling that she's gonna have to go on her own, and that's gonna break my heart even more.
I think Hunter sacrifices himself for the team, and everyone else goes off and be's fine, and it's just going to be Hunter that sacrifices himself. I think he's going to be the only one that dies.
I feel that too, because he's like the main dad figure to her. Like, obviously all of them care about her and take care of her. I like that it's been going around that Echo is the mother. Like, I agree.
Love that.
But I definitely feel like the one that'll like put that knife through your heart is going to be Hunter because of his connection with her.
Yeah.
All
right. Well,
are we good, Ashley? Anything else you want to add?
I think that's it. Should we talk about Loki?
Yeah. Give me one moment.
Oh man, I am so fired.
As far as I'm concerned, that's America's ass.
Hey!
Absolutely not. This is fine Asgardian leather. Now, hang on just a minute.
Now I'm Loki ready. I got my green on. See?
I love it.
Love it.
So cute.
I like the back design.
Did we change our icons? I can't tell.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're Loki ready. Marvel time. Woo! I've been ready for this moment.
I know. All right.
Okay. Overall, what do you guys think about the episode? This first episode.
I really liked it.
I genuinely really liked it. And let me just quickly reference why.
Okay.
I'm working on my drawing of it. This feels like Doctor Who in the Marvel universe. And I will get more into it later, but that's why.
Yes, I can see that.
I just love Tom Hiddleston. I want to get on my Miss Minutes voice for y'all. Okay, side story. I wanted to get into some little girl gossip. I had a dream about Tom Hiddleston before. I don't know why. I had never had I thought he was, obviously loved Loki and everything, but I wasn't like one of those big fangirls until after this dream I had of Tom Hiddleston. Ever since then, I have been obsessed.
That's so funny.
And I'm obsessed with Obi-Wan is like that's my celebrity crush. Never had a dream like that. It was just randomly one day Tom Hiddleston. So there you go, guys.
Hilarious.
A little TMI, but that was it. It was nothing like creepy. It was just like me. Okay. It was very sweet. It was very Southern, okay? You can tell I'm a Southern belle just from this damn dream that I had. I was sitting on the porch drinking sweet tea, and there was Tom Hiddleston sitting there next to me in our rocking chair in our country style home, because that's what we have here on the front porch, waving at cars. Yeah, that was my life. And ever since then, just a happy little Southern home.
That's great.
It's fine. It's fine. We're good, y'all. Okay, but back to Loki.
Yes, it was good. And it's so funny because you guys had chatted a little bit that night after you watched it. And so I woke up to a message saying, but did you see him without a shirt? And so I was so confused. And it was funny because I even told Chris to, I'm like, I woke up to this message. I don't get it. And then that part happens and he's like, well, there you go. He doesn't have a shirt.
They they did that on purpose because people were begging for that. And
I was not expecting him to. I never seen him without his shirt on because I don't creep enough like that. I'm not that obsessive. But when that happened, I was like, loved it.
I'm not surprised because they're definitely stepping out. In my opinion, they're stepping out of the typical Disney rules with these Marvel shows. Like we've discussed it. So I mean, I loved it.
They did with Anthony Mackie, but all right, sorry guys, we're back. But yes, overall, episode 1, best episode 1 of any Star Wars. Oh my God, hang on, we're in Marvel. So out of Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision, this episode 1 started off with a bang. Created it. That would have been like 3 episodes in WandaVision right there.
Oh my gosh, yes.
To know what was going on. But yeah, it's called Glorious Purpose.
Can I just say really quickly, when I read the title of the episode, I heard it in his voice.
Same.
You're right.
And then he said it, and I was like, yes, that's exactly how I imagined it.
Yeah. It was great. And how long was this episode? Do you guys remember? 50-some minutes? Almost an hour?
Almost.
Yeah.
Great. Loved it. Of course. Okay. Episode 1 of Loki is kind of a highlight reel. It gets us featuring pretty much the greatest hits of the God of Mischief, our boy Loki. And after the Time Variance Agency, so the TVA, I'm going to call it the TVA because tongue twister, they capture the 2020 version of Loki, of course, who escaped with the Tesseract during the time heist in Avengers Endgame. So in Endgame, when they go back in time, using, quantum realm, all that, the Tesseract, Loki, 2012, or so. There's 2 different versions of Loki that we know so far, which we'll get more into that. So, thus, since he escaped, thus creating a branch in a timeline, which is he's probably put on obviously we are in this timeline. So since he did that, it branches off into another timeline. So it's gonna be kind of confusing. we don't know what the hell is going on, but we will slowly find out. So that's promptly putting us on this trail. Luckily, Loki and the TVA, he's put on trial for, being a time variance. And you see that scene play out. But luckily, this is where we're introduced to Mobius M. Mobus, and who is played by Owen Wilson. And he is saved from being reset by him, and Loki's taken to the TVA, and you see him going through everything. Before he gets put on trial, you see this whole sequence play out, and which we'll get into all the Easter eggs in a little bit, but I'm trying to rush through this breakdown so we can just talk about it. But of course, he is taken to the TVA room by Mobius and Mobus, and Loki is... Sorry. So Mobius wants to use Loki to track down another dangerous variant who is time traveling, making a disturbance. Mm-hmm. So we don't know who this mystery person is yet at this point in time, but obviously it kind of hints out, which we did see back in France, who you kind of it went back, what was it, 1500 France? Is that what it was?
Something like that, 1592 or something like that.
Yeah, 1592, you see a little flashback of the timeline, and it kind of hints out that, the devil is the person who created all this mess. And no, it is not Mephisto. Before we get started, we're not going to start that whole Mephisto theory, okay, y'all? But yes, of course, Mobius wants to use Loki to set it up, and this is 2012 version of him. So keep that in mind. So thus, whenever he sets him up into this kind of this room, interrogation room, he plays for him past events, which I thought that was great to see, because I wasn't a big fan of 2012 version of Loki. We got to love him throughout his stages, from the Dark World into Ragnarok, and then of course what we knew from Infinity War. But yes, he saves him from being reset and takes him to a room to see that some of the past events in which that happened are just earlier that day for him. Of course, you see the frequency of the Battle of New York with the Avengers paneling around, looking at him. And then he also sees future events that he has not experienced yet. And these such events include Frigga's death, his mother, Odin's death, his father. And then he also ultimately sees himself die. And of course, whenever that happens, you can see him kind of completely you see all that same emotion just rip off, because first of all, his biggest attachment was his mother. Even though he had up this hard shell, you obviously see that break away whenever he's his first thought is, where is she? Because that version of Loki, the reason why she dies is his fault, which we can get more into that. And then also, of course, he has another moment, because he sees that version of Loki. He finally gets accepted from his father, Loki, and his father, Odin, who finally accepts him as his son. And that's basically what he wanted his whole life, is that, love from his father. And of course, during everything, Loki does confess that he doesn't, enjoy hurting people, which it's part of the illusion, confirming, this is what Mobius wanted out of him, because this whole scene was, just a test to see if Loki had any humanity left in him. And, in a change to he gives him a chance to destroy that part of him, and in the hunt of looking for this new time variant, which ends up to being himself, a different version of himself that they're hunting for. So that's basically the breakdown of the episode, what's going on. It's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of Easter eggs that we can break down. But do we want to guess which version? So obviously, if you have not read the comic books, Lady Loki is pretty much who we're going to guess who this time variant is of him.
I haven't read that.
I'm going to comment that this one episode of Loki has immediately taken me off the rails and made me fall in love with his character even more so.
Right.
I've never paid attention to anything else. I was excited to kind of just see the journey. But because the internet is the way the internet is, I know that already it was said Lady Loki is going to be the variant that he's actually in pursuit of before the episode came out, which I was like, okay, well, at least I know what's going on. And then there was also leaked photos of her, which we are not going to talk about. I don't want to talk about it because it kind of ruined the magic for me a little bit.
Oh, no.
But I can't wait to see her when she shows up.
Right. And we'll get into discussion about what's kind of going on in that situation. But as you can see, Easter eggs. Number one, I have the Avengers take the stone, which causes a different branch in the timeline. So we know that there's this one sacred timeline. So when Loki is coming into the TVA, he goes and sees this propaganda show from Miss Bennett talking about this MCU version of the history of the MCU universe, and it's called the Sacred Timeline. There was a war within the different timelines in the multiverse first of all, that video, there's so much nerd stuff going on there. So much nerd stuff. My head was just like, oh my gosh. So I'm sorry if I'm talking fast and rambling, but yeah, in the multiverse, there was the wars going on, and then like the timekeepers made it into one timeline. So what basically kind of says, like, what happens, this is what happens, and all the timelines coexisted into one, except for like the different versions of yourself. So say, for instance, there's 7 different multiverses that are living into one, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot to make that a note. But so like there's different ones of yourself, but they all are doing the same thing. If that makes sense. So Lady Loki is one version of Loki, because like in the comic books, it's actually Loki himself. But how they're going to do it this way, I guess, because in their eye it makes more sense. It's doing another timeline version of him, so it's going to be kind of different. It's still Loki, but it's not our Loki, if that makes sense.
I was going to say, my partner said it the best way possible where I could understand it so I didn't get lost.
Yeah.
And he said, we're watching TV Loki, but movie Loki is dead. That's how you can kind of differentiate them of what's going on, because obviously, like you explained, he watches himself die.
Right.
So movie Loki's dead. And then this version is like TV Loki, because he can't even go back, right? He
No, he can go back. He can be like reset, go back. They're just not going to do it. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen at the end, is he's going to go back.
But you say that to Owen's character when he's like, I can't go back, can I?
Mm-hmm.
I think he meant like go back and like, I took it as like go back and like live on. Like you can go back, but it's just going to play out how it is. If you know what I'm saying?
But like, now, I guess unless they wiped his memory, because now knowing what he knows, he would, even if he went back, he's going to change it.
He would. Yeah. Oh, well, if he's reset, doesn't he forget everything? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, he could not go back knowing, my opinion, how I took it, like he couldn't go back knowing what he knew. So we'll find out.
We'll see.
We'll find out. Yeah, we'll see. But yes, but thus the Avengers taking the Infinity Stone, thus creating another ultimate branch. But that's a lot, which we'll get into that. There's so many different things, but as Loki tries to get out of it, and he's like, well, it wasn't my fault. It was the Avengers' fault because they're the ones who went back in time and did this. And then Mobius says, well, what the Avengers did was supposed to happen. The timekeepers allowed that to happen. And thus, because when, I won't call him Chris Evans because it's Chris Evans, but when Captain America goes back, he thus takes away the actual branches, the other branches, because he puts the stones back to where they are. So thus erasing the branches. And then a lot of people are questioning them, what about him staying back with Peggy and not going back? Well, I think it's because he was supposed to stay there. That's what they're going to introduce. Which, hang on. We're not going to talk about that. I know it's in your head. We're not going to talk about that till the very end. Because that's a whole nother topic.
I'm so upset about it.
I see it in your eyes. We're going to talk about that. But yes, the people who stepped off this path of like using get off the timekeeper's path, they're called Nexus. It's called a Nexus event, which we saw that explained in WandaVision.
Nexus being?
Well, they call it a Nexus event, which they are Nexus beings. So like,
okay,
that's what she said. They're called Nexus events, but they are Nexus beings. Yes, whenever they get off the path, then thus making them, the time variance and everything. But yes, go back in time, do that. So we think it's Lady Loki, but also another interesting, I thought was nice on the time reel. We got a little DB Cooper Easter egg. Do you guys know about you guys don't know about DB Cooper? It's an actual real mystery, and I love how they used it as it was he lost a bet with Thor, because Thor was a little asshole. Both of them were little assholes growing up, and so they Loki hijacked a plane, which this was DB Cooper in 1971 hijacked a flight and then demanded $200,000 in money and stolen cash, and then jumped out of the plane. And the only thing they found in DB Cooper was just some cash left over in the Columbia River, which that's kind of like in your area, right, Ashley?
Yeah.
Yep, it's all in your area. And of course, their explanation was Loki the whole time. He lost a bet with Thor, and Hemlock used the Bifrost to snatch Loki out, and it was DB Cooper. He was DB Cooper the whole time. Thought that was hilarious.
And they even had like a little money behind too. I know.
He looked so suave. But yeah, that was another Easter egg. But back to our little scene with Tom Hiddleston in his shirt taking off scene. So of course, he's going through the TVA, and you see him like, of course, that machine takes away his clothes. But I thought the next part where he goes to like kind of like that metal detector, and the guy is like talking to him and was like, "Do you know if you're a robot?" And he's like, has like his existential life moments, like, what if I didn't know I was a robot?
Like, do people not know if they're a robot?
That was hilarious.
It was. I loved that part.
Oh, but whenever Loki does try to escape from this TVA, he, of course, wants the Tesseract. And I thought it was so funny when they gave the Tesseract to the guy. He was like, well, that's a stupid name. Like,
that guy was so funny. When he told him he's going to gut him like a fish, and he's like, what's a fish?
And of course, that's where he looks inside their evidence drawer, and you see the Infinity Stones in there. And that's when Loki realizes, like, they're useless here. Because, the guy was like, oh, yeah, people use them as paperweights all the time. But inside there, I thought it was interesting. Of course, we see the different stones, but we don't see a yellow stone, the Mind Stone.
I feel like I didn't pay attention to that. I just saw them and was like, so that hurts.
Right.
Well, but okay.
But a lot of people are thinking that they're in the Mind Stone themselves. Like it's in the Mind Stone because the whole thing is like, the whole place is like yellow. That's one theory. Of course, I don't know. We don't know. That's just a theory. But yes, they use it. The H1s should. Okay, so this was a big thing about another theory is the Ancient Ones like seem to suggest like back in Endgame whenever she was discussing about the timelines, like if you take a stone out of my timeline, you're going to cause different timeline branches when she's talking to Bruce. But of course, Steve brings it back. But it seems to suggest that only people who can go off the path and be Nexus beings have the mind, like not the mind stone, so have a Infinity Stone. It seems like they have to have an Infinity Stone to get off, become a Nexus being, get off the timeline. Which I don't know. That's what it's kind of seemed like. That's what she was suggesting, and that's probably why they have so many like mind stones. Yeah, so many stones because they can't get sucked into the different branches. But during him trying to escape, a lot of people are suggesting, like you see in the background, another time the TVA bringing someone in, and a lot of people think it's Peggy. Carter. Do you guys think it's Peggy, or do you?
I mean, it looked like her, like from the split second that I saw, it did look like her.
I thought the same thing too. I was like, is that Peggy Carter? Because first off, she's dressed a very specific way. Her hair is done a very specific way. Now, this can either be another Ralph Boner joke, which I'm going to get upset if it is because they got to stop, or it really is her, and we get a better explanation as to what happened with Steve leaving, because a lot of people are pointing out.
I don't think we're going to see that again. I think it was that.
I think it's just because people are going to point out. So if this TVA agency exists, how come Steve was able to get away with it? But I think this was like a little like, oh, but he didn't get away. We don't know. We'll never know.
Well, it could be one thing. They allowed that to happen. That means they allowed both him, that version of himself, to live, coexist together.
But people
go ahead.
People are pointing out though that at the end of Endgame, he doesn't say Peggy's name. So people are thinking that the TVA did their thing and that she actually married someone else and he stayed with someone else. Which I don't know. I don't know, but it's just interesting.
Who knows? We'll see what happens. I kind of think it was just kind of like a joke. I don't think we're going to get anything out of it. I'm trying not to look too much into it because we've been screwed over before by Marvel.
They're just trolling us now.
Yeah. But overall, obviously, it was a great episode. Loved it. I love seeing, like, for instance, I was actually really thankful that they showed, like, he got to see his future self and he got to snap out of that 2020 Loki and kind of get that same feel that we got to know and love. We got to see Loki. I think I love that version of Loki right before, which it was really interesting because, like, there's a shot where he's, like, looking at himself die. And, of course, the last thing he says to Thanos is, "You'll never be a god." And if you notice, he's looking at himself, and it looks like he's looking at his past self, and it looks like he's looking at himself die. Like, both Lokis are looking at each other, and it's kind of, and it looks like him saying it to him, like, give up this ruler, king, god that you want to be, like, let that go. It was kind of, so the way that was shot, it was almost like his future self telling his past self to let that go.
Interesting.
That whole thing made me sad. Like, so I've never really had too much of an attachment to that character, but those scenes where, what is his name? Owen's character?
Mobius?
Yeah, Mobius, yeah.
Where he's having a very, like, therapeutic conversation with him, trying to figure him out. And it did make me sad when I guess Loki basically finds out, like, you weren't born to rule. You were just created to make others become the best versions of themselves.
Right.
That really hit me hard because I felt for him. That kind of, imagine someone saying that to you, like, that's your purpose in life, is not so you can be the best version of you or be what you want to do. You're only here to cause pain, torment, so others can actually excel for themselves. So that hit me. And then also just what you pointed out, Mariah, where he's watching his reels. Like,
yeah,
I've never seen him with so much emotion in his eyes and just reacting to all of it, that that one episode, like, it won me over. Like, I want to know his story. I want to know more about him.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me a lot, like when I saw him look in that one, it reminded me a lot of what he looked like in the first Thor movie, whenever he was like, I did this for you, father. Like he was like, and his father was like, no, Loki, like basically like shuns him, and that look in his eyes of being hurt because this is his father, and goes off and he dies for the first time. And I was so I got that same feeling because I think I was because I binge watched the Thor movies prior to this and was talking to you all, and I forgot how much of a difference between that version of him and then to the Dark World. Because I was like talking to you guys, like they like Odin's character and then Thor's character did they reverse roles really fast, and I did not like them. I did not like that at all, and I was just like that. And then all of a sudden, when he came back, and because Loki wasn't like truly that evil in the first one, he obviously you can tell that he did everything. It was obviously an illusion. He was doing things to make his father proud, show his dad that he was worthy, and that was a problem with Loki. He was trying to prove to his father. But in the 2012 version of Loki, it was like a three like they just like make him evil as possible, and that wasn't how he was in the first Thor movie at all. And I kind of didn't like that. And at the end of Thor Ragnarok, when he finally was like, when him and Thor have that heart and heart, he's like, brother, I thought the world of you. And that hit me hard because it's like here he was trying to impress Odin and get his father's approval, but he had his brother's approval from the very beginning. And that was the one that mattered, and that he finally realized that at the end. He was there at his brother's side, and that breaks my heart. So sorry, it breaks my heart because I was like, he finally reads it, and then of course he dies at the end of Endgame, but we get him now. I was just really worried that they were just going to show that they were going to retcon all that and just make him that 2012 version of Loki, and I did not want that. I was like, I love this character development, and I can relate to a lot of that character.
I like that people pointed out, and I feel like this really does tie in, like it goes with everything that you're saying of how much that connection he had with Thor. People are pointing out that his file doesn't finish until Thor, like that very last scene is Thor by his side. And people are saying, so his file doesn't end when he dies. His file ends with the last thing he felt. And that hurt me.
Oh. So sorry. But speaking of file, so we do see that it says fluid on there, like his gender.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the gender fluid and everything, because that's what he is in the comic books. And a lot of people are getting mad. It's like, oh, they're just trying to go with the time. No, it's part of the comics. They're not being true to the story, but they're also being true to the story, kind of true to the character, but in their own MCU way, because there's no way they can, because I mean, obviously Lady Sif, it's supposed to basically be Lady Loki, that lady, Lady Sif, 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 who we saw in the past Thor movies, right? Yeah, you guys know who I'm talking about, or no?
I haven't watched the second one.
She's in the first one too, but she's the female warrior. She was actually supposed to be
a friend.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was in the comics. It's like Thor's love interest, but in the comic books, that's who is like it's Lady Loki was a reincarnated body for Lady Sif, but the soul gets inhabited by Loki himself. Like he dies, and then he takes over that body meant for Lady Sif. So it was basically like a clone body for Lady Sif. But of course not in this timeline. They're just using those different versions of himself, and this version is the Lady Lady Loki. And of course, we know who the actress is. My thing is, I kind of wish and she's blonde. That's my only complaint about her. She's blonde. I kind of wanted her to have black hair.
Oh, I didn't look at the pictures because I didn't want the magic to be completely ruined. But I didn't know that. I kind of was expecting, when you say Lady Loki, I assume
black hair.
You know, black hair.
Well, they showed that lady when the credit. You see her when they do like the trailer.
Yeah, at the end. I didn't see her hair. I just saw the hood. So.
Oh no! In the trailer for Loki, you see him sitting there with a female figure.
Mm-hmm.
And people thought it was Black Widow, but it's not. They don't have the same haircut. She has like a ball haircut. It's a lady. It's a lady with blonde hair.
I need to rewatch that, but that's very disappointing to hear.
Yeah. They show it in the trailer that he's sitting there with a female. So that's why people are like, it's Lady Loki, and not. Some people are. It's half and half. Some people think it's Black Widow. The other half think it's Lady Loki. I think it's Lady Loki. But we'll see. Yeah, but they do show a lady in the trailer.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sorry for ruining the magic for you.
I'm kind of like,
it wasn't me, it was Disney.
Yeah,
Promise.
I'm just kind of going with the flow for this show because, again, after the whole Ralph Boner thing in WandaVision, I'm kind of like over it. So
Same.
I'm just gonna let it go how it's going, and
it's going to do a whole 360 and it's going to take a loop around. We're not going to know what's going on.
We've only got 6 episodes too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this season, there's rumors that there will be a second, and there's no reason there can't be, especially if he can't go back. I could see them continuing on with this,
or even just doing something with Lady. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to get hate for this, but if they do a second season, this could be a great character, Lady Loki. I just want to see Tom Hiddleston. I don't want to see him die again.
Right.
I don't want to see him die again. I'm tired of seeing him die. He's died in every single movie he's in. Obviously in Loki. And I'm just tired of it. Just let him live. Just, please.
I'd like for him to stay if they do a second season, because you're right, he literally dies in every film, and
so predictable.
Like I said earlier, I really feel like this is Marvel's version of Doctor Who with him, and that is I'm here for it because I'm a Whovian, but then that also is like what you're saying. It's like what if it does continue with Lady Loki instead? Because that's what Doctor Who does.
I'm not ready for that cycle. I'm not ready. I hate that whole cycle of Doctor Who of, loving them.
It's hard. It's hard to watch. And I know you're a big Whovian, and I have to get into it because I promised you I would watch some of the episodes. But sometimes, this is a lot for me as a Marvel fan to watch this, and I've read a lot of the comic books. But it's a lot. I hope they do this right. I hope they do this justice. And I'm just saying, they're doing this time jump in this alternate universe. Bring me my X-Men, please. Just do it.
I feel like we're gonna get X-Men. If it's not this show, it's gonna have to be an end credit in Doctor Strange's multiverse of madness.
I don't think we're getting them.
But we are getting X-Men at some point. We all know that. They bought them out for a reason. And they're introducing all these universes for a reason. It's leading somewhere. We all know that. But I was going to say, Mariah, just so you know, if this show, the only reason I kind of understood what's going on is because of Doctor Who, because Doctor Who, I feel like, is 10 times worse with the time jumps and the timelines and the planets and he also has rules that don't make sense sometimes either, where he's I can go here but I can't go there, and it's just
I think this is gonna be the same. We'll see what happens with this. I am super excited just because he's an amazing actor. I keep saying that, but there's so much I'm excited. Because obviously Marvel has not let us down yet. And they start off with the Big Bang, And I know this is going to take a whole 360 at the end, but it is going to be kind of confusing because at the beginning of it, we thought this was going to come into WandaVision. Like WandaVision was going to lead to Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange, but I think they said it's not anymore. Like this was supposed to lead into that too. I don't know. They did bring into the writer of Loki is now the official writer of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This is the third writer they went on to. Because the first guy who was going to write this, and he wanted all these two shows, WandaVision and Loki, to correlate with this Multiverse of Madness.
The way WandaVision ended, though, I thought that was the way WandaVision ended.
That's how they were going to introduce it, but they got another writer, completely changed that whole idea. That writer got so mad, left, and then they found another. They loved Loki so much that they got the writer of Loki and was like, okay, can you jump onto this? And they pretty much like demoted like the writer that they had that was going to write it. And so now he's like the main writer, and they haven't said if this is still going to lead into Multiverse of Madness yet or not. I did see, like, if you notice, like, there's when the TVA, when they go to reset the timeline, what is happening, if you guys notice, like, the little device, it's purple smoke coming out. That is affiliated with the dark magic, which we see in Doctor Strange and like the Mordu and stuff. That does have. And from WandaVision, Agatha had the dark purple magic. So there's correlation there because they're pulling from the dark universe. And there's also a kind of idea that also what the TVA is not the good guys, obviously. There's something, because if you notice, there's a whole propaganda. And at the end, at the end of like that little Miss Minutes, it said how it should have been, like something about for all time, one timeline for all time, which we know that's a lie because they just stated in that same ad that time, like what they were given a little history, that wasn't the one timeline from the very beginning. There was multiple timelines. So therefore, that whole thing was a contradiction to itself. So that there is like a big Easter egg, like, okay, they're not who they say they are. They're not this. So we'll see what happens, and maybe Lady Loki, that version of Loki, caught on, and it was like, you're not high and mighty. You can't tell me what I can and can't do.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Anything? So you guys want to give it a rating before we head off for the night?
I think it'd be a 10 for me.
I feel like it'd be a 10 also.
Yeah, it's been my favorite so far. So I'm excited to see where this goes. And I really hope it does lead somewhere. Obviously, I hope they get their shit together and they explain things. Don't leave me on. I'm tired of all leaving me on cliffhangers.
Same.
But you're gonna do that to us. But
all right. Should we go ahead and do our Mental Health Monday?
All right. So the quote I chose this week is, I'll let you guys know it's from Star Wars. You can't stop change any more than you can stop the suns from setting. Shmi Skywalker.
My favorite. I love it.
I say it's Ashley's favorite.
And to add on to it, to anyone listening, that quote, I mainly chose it so people, I know it's a lot on mental health when it feels like everything is out of your control. Basically, you can't control everything. So don't stress yourself out over it. Just try and control things you can control.
Yeah.
It's kind of the theme of Loki. I think we've all had a kind of like a rough couple of weeks. we all deal with the same thing with our mental health. I know I talked to Ashley a few weeks ago about it, and you needed a break, Savi. I needed a break, and it's okay. I needed a few weeks to calm down, get everything situated, and figure out for myself because I just feel overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
I want to add on to that I feel like the same week I was having a heavy week, and you too, like a lot of people were being very open and posting that they're just not like all there. They're having a hard time, which helped me in the end because seeing, others just be open about it let me know and remind me I'm not alone. So that's kind of why we do this little segment. So whoever's listening, you're not alone.
I have a theory that it was the blood moon.
Everyone's saying it was that. And I was like, I don't know, but
no,
at
I'm
least
just
we're
joking.
all suffering together.
Right. It was a blood moon. I'm telling you, it's what happened. But yes, we want to say thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed our podcast. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to our channel. Next week, I think next week we're going to announce what giveaway that we're going to do. So be tuned to next week and we'll announce a giveaway. And also, like I said, like and subscribe to the channel. Like us on Facebook and on Instagram. We are starting a Twitch channel, which we're still working out the details. Let us know in the comments what you guys would like us to do on Twitch. Please give us some ideas so that way we can get that set up. And, we're on TikTok. Forces of Fandom. Everywhere we're at Forces of Fandom except for Twitter. Just go to our Instagram and we'll have that link there. It's like Forces of Fandom 1 or what is it?
Fandom Forces. Yeah,
Fandom Forces. It's like opposite. But yes, we're on TikTok. We do highlight reels on there. And also, if you guys love what we do, please, we have a coffee link. So send us coffee because we record so late at night.
Yes.
So please help us out. And if you enjoy our content, I have a link in our, do we have a link in our bio? Is it just on Instagram?
Yeah, I think it's in our actual link tree. So anywhere you...
Yeah. And we'll put it here in the link below too in our description. So yeah, send us coffee. Yes. And listen to us. And also if you're listening on to our iHeartRadio and on Spotify. Yes, please, if you guys like listening to us on there, please send us coffee because it does cost, what is it, like $12 to post on there a month? Yeah, so just a little $2 helps. That's what we're doing.
It's fun, but it ain't free.
Yeah. Especially when I'm recording this it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's it for this week. So, may the force be with you guys.
Always fire.
And we love you 3000. Bye.
Bye.